My oldest son's 9 years old, and for a lot of his life, I didn't realize that I was just failing to provide him a lot of things that I just wasn't thinking of. And now that he's older and my younger two kids are coming up, I realized these things that I was failing to do. And so this is what this video is going to be about. What my kids needed that I was failing to provide. This is the 3F life: faith, family, fitness. I'm your host, Connor, and we're going to get into this. So for the longest time, I thought providing was all my kids needed. Putting a roof over their head, paying the bills, and putting food on the table. And I think that a lot of men have this kind of mindset, like even with their wife, they think that that's just enough. I'm putting a roof over her head. But you're not pursuing that relationship. You're not keeping that love and that attraction. And with my kids, so unconditional love. Your child should never wonder if they're enough to be loved. Your kids need to know that you love them even when they make mistakes, or they're going to be scared to make mistakes. I used to focus on the disciplinary aspect of being a dad, the putting them timeouts and things like this, and raising your voice and all of these things that like you do need to do when you're a dad. You do need to be the disciplinary figure in their lives. But that's not all that matters. You need to show your kids that you love them. You need to show them that unconditional love, because you don't want your kid to wonder, like, does my dad love me? Is he proud of me? You got to be able to show that you're proud of them even when they're making mistakes. You got a bad grade in school. It's okay, buddy. You can improve, and I'll help you so that they can work past that and they know that their parents love them. So number 2, your time and your presence. Not just being physically there, but fully present, listening, playing, and bonding. I used to be the dad that would come home, sit on his phone, or watch TV until I went to bed. I was physically there, but I wasn't there. And that was just, I had my oldest son a couple years ago. He made a comment about like how dad's he's just on his phone. And that kind of hurt. It's like, I'm here, but I'm not here. My mind is elsewhere instead of being there with my kids, instead of doing the things that I need to do to be a present father. So pay attention to these things. Don't come home and be the dad that's on TV, watching TV all day. Be the dad that comes home and plays with his kid. Go out in the yard and throw catch with your kid. Play toys with your kid, wrestle with your kids. Like, we need to be those dads that are spending crucial time, because this is time that we're not going to get back. Your kid, the age that your kid is now, is going to be the youngest that he'll ever be again. Your kid's 3 today. This year he's going to turn 4, and he won't be 3 anymore. And it flies by so fast. It feels like yesterday when I had my oldest son. Now he's going to be 9 here in a couple weeks, and I've really looked back at that and kind of lived with a little bit of regret and how I was. And so now I'm like, I've got to change this going forward. And then number 3, being a spiritual leader. If you don't lead your child to Christ, the world will lead them to hell. For my oldest son, for a lot of his life, we didn't go to church. I didn't go to church at all. And I didn't pray. I didn't do these things that would pour into him and lead him to Christ. So how can I set an example? We can't just leave the world up to raising our kids. We can't just put our kids in the school and hope that they get it right. Even if you put your kid into a Christian private school, you can't hope that they're just going to find God. You've got to lead them by doing. You got to lead them by you building that relationship with God on your own, and they see that and they follow, because your kids want to be just like you. And if they don't want to be like you, that's an even bigger problem. But most kids, they want to be just like their parents. So we've got to lead them, especially when it comes to leading them to Christ. Number 4, discipline. Discipline is doing what's right, especially when no one's watching, and everything in you wants comfort. So this is not in the sense of like disciplining your children, putting them in timeout, taking things away from them. This is in the sense of like you living a disciplined life. You eat right. You go to the gym. You go to church every Sunday. You read your Bible every day. You live a disciplined life so that your kids have that example to live by. So when they get older, this is just routine. This isn't just a Oh yeah, we went to church on Easter and Christmas. We just go to church every Sunday. We enjoy it. We get a lot out of church every Sunday. So that's number 4. Number 5, encouraging them to be themselves. Your kids are not here to live in your shadow of what you failed to be. They're here to be their own people. And I know a lot of men, you might have like a failed dream of yours. Like maybe you wanted to be an athlete or something. And you put that dream on your kids instead of allowing them to grow and be their own person. And that's a big thing. I remember like when I had my oldest, I had this was when like the Lonzo Ball, the Ball brothers were coming up, and I was like, man, that would be so cool. Just get all my kids to play in the NBA. And now that I'm older, it's like that might not have even been their dreams. We want our kids to live out their dreams, and I think that that's important to have them chase their dreams, pursuing their own passions, and from that, we lead them to that, and we encourage them to live their dreams out. And like, so if your kid likes a sport, like if my kid likes baseball, I never liked baseball. I'm gonna go all in on being a fan of baseball to help motivate my kid and help him follow his passions. So number 6, forgiveness and grace. They'll mess up, and you will too. Let them see confession, mercy, and what godly grace looks like. Teach them to apologize and forgive as God does. We got to teach them to forgive. One of my kids will hit the other kid. I always will tell them, give them a hug and apologize. Because this is something that not a lot of people do with their kids. They don't teach them to apologize. It's just like, oh, it happened, whatever, they're kids. They'll be rough, they're boys. And it's like, no, they need to forgive, and they need to show God's grace. So, number 7, pursuit of your goals. Don't give up on your goals in order to provide. Pursue them even more so that your children will see what it looks like to achieve the goals of their own life. So I've talked about this before too, but for part of my life, I just kind of gave up on my goals, and it was just like I'm going to work, and those goals I threw them away because I have a family now. Why would I should pursue money and providing a good life for my kids instead of pursuing my goals. And I realized that was wrong, because your kid's going to get to a point where they ask you, what did you want to do when you grew up, Dad? And when you tell them something that's totally different than what you do, they even if they don't say it or think it, that might be in the back of their head, like, did my dad give up on his goals because of me? You don't want your kid to ever be an excuse for your lack of following your goals. You want to continue to pursue your goals despite having kids, so that your kids can see you. Because I think there's nothing better than your kids seeing you achieve your goals. They're going to think they can achieve anything. They see the proof in their own life, in their father. So why would they not believe they can do anything? And so number 8, constant growth. Don't be the same man today as you are when your kids are adults. You want them to watch you become a better man. If I'm the same at 28 as I am at 38, and my kids are all grown up, they're not going to see any evolution, and then they're not going to grow. We want to promote growth in everything that we do. So I think that that's very important, and I want to improve myself in every area of my life so that when my kids are older, they can do the same in their lives. And then number 9, health. Lead them physically, spiritually, to live a healthier life. So if you're not going to the gym and getting fit, 1, you're not going to live a long time. You're going to have a shorter life because you're eating like crap, you're overweight, and that's not a way to lead a family as a man. We want to lead our kids. They see that their dad's fit. They want to get fit. They want to be in sports. They want to continue to do those things. So I think that's very important in living a healthy lifestyle. For a lot of my life, I didn't do this. For like 8 years of my life, I didn't go to the gym. I ate wrong, and I paid the consequences of it. I saw my health sliding down, and I was overweight, and my kids, like I would struggle to play with my kids, and we don't want to live like that. We want to be healthy and promote our kids to be healthy as well. And then finally, number 10, be proud of your kids' accomplishments. Your kids, you being proud of them will be like the best thing that they'll ever hear. Like, hearing that from my dad even to this day is just like, that makes me feel so good that my dad's proud of me. You want to show that your kids that you're proud of them, and they'll love that, and they'll continue to grow and they'll continue to be happy about their life, pursuing their goals and everything like that. But that's it for this list today. If you enjoy this kind of content, self-improvement, faith, family, fitness, please like and subscribe. And as always, God bless.